This is an Envoice Media podcast.
Hot content is coming. Hot content. Americans are more like peachy. They're super soft outside. They smile. They try to be like very supportive.
I still have my phone like that because honestly, AM, PM all gets confusing.
Oh, the pound. Why is it LB?
You're listening to Just Fake It Coming to LA podcast. Now here are your hosts, Nora and Maryna.
Hey everyone, welcome to Just Fake It. Coming to LA. Here I am, Nora with Maryna today.
Hello.
And we're welcoming you to our podcast. And our topic today will be
Cultural differences.
Ooh.
It's a lot of those for us, guys.
You know what? Every time I say, no matter how many years I live in LA, there is always something surprises me every single day.
Absolutely. It's like every day you're just like, what?
Yes.
Every day I say a word, what?
But you know what? If you live a life where you get surprised more often and positively surprised, we're doing something right.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually super fun when you get excited about something, like some things that are like never new. Like, for example, today Nora learned the new word drywall.
I did. Because we're talking about cultural differences.
Yeah.
And Maryna asked me what was the most impressive thing for me when I just got to America?
Not even impressive, but like something that surprised you that wasn't like normal for you.
So for me personally, as a person who grew up in a village in a house with a farm, I came here, and when I landed in LAX, first thing I remember was very bright. It was so many cars, huge airport. The grass was so green, it hurt my eyes because, I'm coming from a gray place. It was winter, everything was great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then I remember the first apartment I moved into, I realized it's like, can be, there's 2-floor apartments with one staircase, and you can just, there's no like anything in front of it. You just kind of open your door and you're already in the apartment.
Okay.
Because usually in our houses, we have this like place where you kind of have, where you put your shoes. There's kind of a storage. You walk in. There's a hallway.
The corridor
kind of thing. They don't have it here.
No, really. I believe like in a bigger kind of apartments, maybe they do, but like in a small one.
Let's say standard like studio, 1 bedroom. You walk in and you're in the kitchen.
Yeah. Right away. Which
right
is
away.
Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the kitchen counter. Most of the apartments. At least the ones I know. At least the cheap ones. Don't you think? And then another thing was obviously taking off your shoes.
Oh, yeah. Well, here they don't take shoes
They
off,
don't.
which is so weird. Because we do. But then I kept asking people, like, why don't you take off the shoes? And they were like, because they're not dirty. And then I realized that's true because, like, the streets here, they don't get that dirty because it never almost rains. There is nothing, like, happening.
But it doesn't mean that dogs don't pee on the streets or somebody spits and you still, kind of step on it. But, okay, shoes in the house sometimes maybe okay.
I guess.
But going to bed where there are white sheets and laying down in your shoes from the street, that's just completely, for me, unacceptable.
Okay, yeah.
Because even, in my place, when you come over or anybody comes over, the first thing I say...
take off your shoes. Just
no.
Shoes.
Actually, nicely, I say, I'm sorry, the rules of my house, take off your shoes. Here are the slippers.
Okay.
And then we're going to get inside. And I even change. When I come home, everything I wear, I change to my home clothes because that's how I grew up.
Yeah, that's a common thing. Like we're home, we come from home. I remember my parents used to yell at me all the time. It's like, take off your school uniform. You're at home. Like when you're at home, because you can't be in your school uniform at home because it's gonna get dirty, messy, whatever. You have to change, right? So we have that basically tradition that at home you wear home clothes, outside you wear outside clothes, and it's different. And you can't sit on the sofa in like clothes that you came from the street.
Right. And not just clothes. So probably it's maybe just my family.
Yeah.
My mom was a doctor and I myself, my first education is epidemiologist, doctor of epidemiology. Maybe it's not a cultural thing, but maybe it's a personal thing. I come home and I take my phone and I spray it with antiseptic.
Okay.
And I wipe it because the phone is the dirtiest thing we have because we put it everywhere and you put it close to your face and it's in your bed. It's everywhere. So imagine how many, microorganisms it can have. Yes, and one of the habits, which I'm not sure if it's a cultural thing, but
I don't do that. But
that's
now
what
that
my
you
family
said,
does.
I'm like, oh, maybe I should.
Oh, yes. I think it's better to stay safe.
Okay.
There is one more thing, though. I think the first thing which really blew my mind when I walked into that apartment, I'm coming back to that, is the walls and how the whole architecture and construction is built in America. American architecture is so different from the rest of the world. America has this beautiful thing. Everything is quite comfortable, convenient, accessible.
Okay.
Everything here. Even if you have 2-floor building, you always will have an elevator.
Well, again, are you judging based on Los Angeles, or are you judging based on like the whole?
So far,
United
I
States?
think the whole United States, what can be different is New York.
Yeah.
New York is
Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. East Coast is a bit different, but I traveled to Texas. I was in Miami, New Orleans, and what I saw, the first thing is walls.
Okay.
They built houses here and apartments, and the walls are paper walls.
Okay.
Which in my country we have paper walls, but on the inside of the house to separate the rooms. But actual house will be built from the stone, and then on top of that, from the outside, will be like red or white bricks to decorate.
Okay.
So the thickness of the walls of our houses and apartments are like this.
Yeah, they're very thick because it's getting cold. Also, like I feel like it's protecting us from heat, from cold. It's like it's
New York
supposed
gets
to-
cold too.
Well, yeah, I guess, but they don't.
They have heaters.
They don't care.
But you know what's good about the stones? I was 15. I was 15 and I worked in the construction, guys. Yes, I did. I learned, it was my summer break at school. And when I was working in construction, I remember those walls, how everything is made. And I obviously know how everything is done. So I remember I always was asking, why do we have this kind of a thick of a wall? And my brother always explained to me that on summer, in the heat, they will keep everything cool inside. So you don't have to use AC as much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when it's cold, it will keep the warmth inside, the heat. So that way they're saving on energy.
Yeah.
That's how, I don't think we had, when I was growing up, I don't think we had AC in our house, because our house was always cool during the summer.
I don't think my house was always cool, but we definitely did not have AC.
Yeah. And dishwasher we use just to put the dishes on when we wash it ourselves.
My parents don't have dishwasher.
I know our people, wherever I go, they just don't like to use dishwasher. Like, it's only 2 plates. Why can't you wash it yourself, right?
Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah.
Which makes sense, because for me, to waste water or anything, for me, I grew up with the idea of like, you can't waste. For example, that's just a cultural test. In our culture, when you buy groceries and you like have bags, right? From grocery shopping, I collect. There's always a bag in the bag in our
with the bags.
The bag with the bags. It's our thing. I don't know if people here, I didn't really see if people here do, because sometimes they have these reusable bags, but we collect the bags and we put the bags in one bag, and we actually I fold them.
Yeah, but which is also funny because you collect them, but every time you go to store, you
forget them. That's why.
So you buy more bags. You collect more.
But guess what? When I was moving, that was really helpful because I put all my clothes in the bags.
Okay.
There is another thing also when you're packing for traveling, right?
Yeah.
What I see lots of people don't do, they just put their clothes in the suitcase and just cover it, right? I cannot. I have to have every piece of for example, there's lingerie I'm going to put in the bag. There's socks I'm going to put in the bag. Because I'm afraid, that's my mentality of my back home, that somebody is going to spill something on my suitcase. Somebody is going to open. Somebody is going to steal. All these precautions I was raised with, it's still with me. Yes.
Oh, I just remembered the other day, me and you went to the post office, right? Which is kind of also a cultural difference. And Nora was she's in the process of getting visa and stuff. And you need to send your passport via post, right? Oh. And she was freaking out about this, which was funny because, again, in our countries, right? It's you don't trust the post, you don't trust the government, you don't give them your passport.
You don't, because they will always lose it, or they will bring it later. And especially if I'm here in the United States, and I have a passport of my country, and imagine if it's going to be lost. Yeah. I'm going to be illegal. I'm going to be stuck. You know how terrifying it is to give away your passport when you're in another country. You feel like a true immigrant.
Yeah,
with
this
no
is the
rights.
only proof of
proof of your identity, pretty much. And it's scary because there is no organ you can go to except your embassy, which is not even in LA.
That's true.
And even to go to my embassy, I'll still will need to have a paperwork to even travel to my embassy and wait for appointments. So it's really, really scary, guys, when you're an immigrant, and if you lose your passport or any piece of documentation, it's no.
Yeah, but still here it is normal. It's normal to send your documents via post office, receive the documents. It's fine. But like for us, it's like scary. Yeah. Like send money. They send money, the checks. And I'm like, how? How is this possible?
I don't know. I feel like the whole situation with debit and credit also another thing. So another thing besides the paper walls here and the architecture and was a financial system.
Okay.
So when I got here, I remember I was paying with my debit card, and in the store, everywhere I go, they will ask me, "Oh, what kind of charge would you like, debit or credit?" And I was like, "What's the difference?" They're like, "Well, it's debit or credit." I was like, "I got it, but what's the difference?"
Yeah, like what is it? Yeah, same here because like we don't have credit cards. Like businesses have credit cards.
No, nowadays some people do.
Probably.
It's normal. It's kind of developed, but the whole financial system is different. I'm not saying somebody's behind or forward because in my country the financial system works this way. You just literally send everything on phone number. So every store you go to, there will be a phone number, and then we have this app where we just type in phone number. Even taxi, we use phone number.
Yeah, we too. Actually, to verify your identity, it's attached to your phone number.
You send, and there was like receipt immediately, so it's so quick and convenient. So you don't have to like call Uber whatsoever. You can actually catch the taxi and just like pay over the phone, and you don't have to attach anything to anything. So your card is always protected. You just send on a phone number, which is great because there are less frauds.
That's true.
Yeah, because in our countries, if they would find out that they can make a fraud, they will. They definitely will.
No, speaking about the fraud, what was surprising to me here in the States, right, is I keep getting phone calls from the spam, scam. And I'm like, this isn't like, why is everybody trying to scam me? And I'm like, I have my phone pretty recent, right? It's like less than 2 years. And there's already like scam calls, spam calls, like people are just like calling me, like speaking Spanish or something. And I'm like, this is here. It's so weird because like we don't have that. I don't know.
We do, but not on that scale.
Probably because here everybody's trying to steal something from you, like by the scams, which again, we're talking about like how we trust the government, right? We trust to send the documents and stuff. But then at the same time, there's this groups of people who are always trying to scam you.
That is true. But it's not just, I feel like it's everywhere now. Everybody's trying to take your money.
I don't know. I don't have phone calls when I'm back home. Like nobody's calling me now. Like I have phone calls, like there's random numbers calling me. I'm like, what? Where is it coming from?
Funny enough, I'll tell you a story about the phone number.
Okay.
They're being utilized apparently. So when you're getting a phone number, somebody already had it. So in my case, I remember I got new phone, and people started calling me. And one day, I remember I was working on CBS on the post-production, and I didn't even know like what's going on. I was just like working, and there was a friend of mine who was a producer, and I just put on a speakerphone when I received a call, and I was like, "Hi," and they're like, "Hey, is Rodney there?" I was like, "What? No, I'm Nora." And the guy next to me, he was like, talk to him. I was like, "Why would I talk to him? I'm not Rodney." He's like, "Talk to him." So apparently, the guy who called was Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chris Tucker called on my phone.
All right.
And he was like, "Hey, is Rodney there? Rodney, bro, what's up?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And my friend was like, "No, tell him your assistant." I was like, "Why would I lie? Why would I lie?"
Okay.
And then when I hang up, the guy tells me, "You know who Rodney Jerkins is?" I'm like, "I don't."
Yeah.
He's like, "It's one of the biggest music producers in LA."
Okay.
And I have his phone number.
Wow. Well,
His ex-phone number. I don't know. I just got it. I was getting a new phone and I got a phone number, and apparently it was his phone number.
Oh, interesting.
So for many, many years now, I just reply, "Hi, this is Nora."
So you pick up every phone call you get.
Trust me, people call, like different type of people call me, and I feel bad because I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, he changed his phone," but. And the friend of mine, the producer, he was like, "Oh my God, this is insane." I was like, "Yeah, this is insane." First year in LA, I get the phone number of one of the biggest music producers, and I get a call from Chris Tucker.
Nice.
I know.
You shouldn't be like, he's not here, but I can help you.
Yeah, everybody says that, but I feel I feel bad to impersonate, first of all, and second of all, like I wouldn't want my ex phone number to be utilized this way. I'm not Rodney Jerkins yet. Or maybe
that's
I don't know, he's great. Like and then later on when I found out who he is, I was like, oh wow.
So
He's
cool.
done some amazing things in music, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love to meet him one day. I'll be like, I have this amount of calls and messages I can give back to you.
Yeah.
I even tried to DM him.
Okay. Oh, you
but
did?
I tried. I was like, hey, these people are
Yeah.
reaching out. I just, I was trying to help, but then obviously
You never answered.
didn't
Well,
even
maybe
read.
you will.
Didn't even read.
Well, maybe one day, you know.
I just admire people's work and I try to stay honest with things. But yeah, it was interesting. Everybody.
That's
And one
great.
time I'm sitting with my friend of mine who's a music producer, and I'm telling him the story, and he's like, okay, let me call Rod, and he calls and my phone rings.
Oh, really?
He was like, this is so funny.
Wow. Did something happen to him? Did he disappear?
No. They change. Okay, people who get lots of calls, they change their
phone numbers?
Of course, yeah. Of
Okay.
course. And I
Well,
would do the same
it's weird because I feel like at that level, you probably want to keep your phone number. But anyway,
It's another topic, but that's another cultural shock for me because in Kazakhstan, for example, I've never faced that kind of situation where the phone numbers
yeah, because it's kind of
rotated.
attached to your identity, right?
Here too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think here you can also your
Interesting, 'cause,
name
like-
shows up too.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking about things that surprised us coming here, for me, the biggest thing was probably the people, right? Because obviously the cultural difference is huge. And the fact of personal space, how here everybody respects your personal space, right? Nobody's gonna like sit next to you like without asking if it's okay to sit, nobody's gonna touch you without asking like, is it okay or something. Of course, there is some people who are like touchy or anything, right? But this is more rare than stuff. And back in Ukraine, for example, right? It's no problem to like sit next to somebody next in a bench, right? Or like get like in marshrutka, like the bus or something where everybody
so
is just
marshrutka,
like...
it's a public transportation,
Yeah.
which Americans, I don't think they've seen it.
They probably do.
No,
It's like little buses. But...
So here, public transportation, they have like, I'm sorry, this is, I did it again. Oops, I did it again with the light. So here, they have huge buses, right?
No, they have smaller too ones.
Smaller, but they don't have marshrutka. Marshrutka is this like SUV kind of like 12-seater.
They do. I saw them.
They do?
Yeah, they do,
But
they
they do
do.
for private events. They drive around for
No,
parties.
we have one in Agora where I live. There's like a shuttle. They call it shuttle.
They call it shuttle, but it's public.
Basically, it's marshrutka. It's public. Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting.
Anyway, well, yeah. So what I was saying is that back in Ukraine, people do not respect personal space, right? Which is like, it's normal. It's just okay. But at the same time, they don't respect the personal space, but they would never, ever talk to each other, right? You would never like sit next to someone who's like, hey, how are you doing?
No,
we don't do that.
Because if you smile at somebody else and look in the eyes, they would be like, what the heck are you smiling at?
Yeah, it's scary.
And it's scary.
I remember it was shocking for me when I just got here and people just randomly start talking to you or asking you questions or just like even
Or wishing
like,
you, or saying have a good day when you
Yeah,
exit the elevator, and saying hi, how are you doing?
yeah, or like compliment like, oh, I like your shoes and stuff. And I'm like, really?
Yeah,
But
random
then,
people.
then you realize that it's like it's a common thing here, which makes it interesting, right? They respect the personal space, but they would talk to you, and back at home they would like not respect your personal space, but would never talk to you, right? And I have a funny story actually for you. How after I spent a couple years here, I went back home for my friend's wedding. And basically, we had this bachelorette party that was super fun, and went to a strip club. And one of the things they did, they had a strip competition between girls, right? And well, this is all the press story, whatever. So I decided to participate for my friend, for the sake of my friend, whatever, right? And I participate in the strip contest.
All right, hot content is coming. Hot content. Maryna participated. Maryna stripped.
I did. Nobody seen it. It's not allowed to film, so the footage is not there. But anyway, I got to the finale.
You got
So
to the
there's two girls
You know
left.
what? I think we should create another show, Maryna.
Anyway, and obviously, like not obviously, but I lost in the end. I lost. It's fine. The other girl.
You
was
made it to finals.
super cool. I made it to finals. But anyway, what I wanted to say is I was there with my girlfriends, right? And when I get out of the stage, and they're like, "Oh, that bitch! Yeah, you were so much better. You were like, she doesn't deserve it." She's like, it's kind of like but it's in our culture. And I was like, you know what? And I turn around I go to that other girl and I'm like, you were awesome. Can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
It's like, you were super cool. And my friends were like, what is she doing? Like, why
Yeah.
is she talking to her?
Yeah.
Why is, like, it was such a shock for them. But then, you know, we actually like talked to the girl and then she had her friends around and then we kind of grouped together and we started drinking together and all that stuff. But like the fact that people do not talk to each other, which is not normal. And in our culture, it's normal to like, you know, talk bad basically about other people.
It's not just
kind of
that.
thing.
It's okay. I'll explain. I think more elevate in Kazakhstan is the same thing. So when somebody succeeds around your
Yeah.
circle, they think that it's not deserved because she has rich parents. Oh, her boyfriend is rich. Oh, she's a sugar baby. Oh, she's that and that. So I faced, straight up, I'm telling you, when I was in university and I won competition and I went to Miss Kazakhstan Universe, I came back and, you know, medical university, I was the first girl from this university to ever win a beauty contest on that large of a scale.
Yeah.
And all my classmates, and majority of them were girls.
Okay.
They were like, oh, so how did you win? And I was like, well, I mean, I participated,
Who
I
did
worked
you
hard.
sleep with, right?
Well,
that's the first question.
that was spoken everywhere, which not in straight to my face, which at least that's the good part. But she was like, oh, so if I'm tall, then I can also go and win. I was like, well, if you have that kind of mentality. And she literally said it straight to my face. Oh, so there's nothing special about you.
Yeah.
If I could be tall, because she was a shorter girl, if I could be tall, I can just go and win. And I was like, okay, I mean, good luck, try. That's what I said.
That's crazy because
In the face, the haters are telling me it in the face. Why?
Yeah.
Because they didn't see my hard work. They think everything was given. And this idea, like even our parents, even like people, friends are around us, if they want to support you when you fail, they will be like, no, you're better. This girl is just, she's not talented. She doesn't, like, literally, she has something going on. Somebody helped her. That kind of culture. We don't celebrate each other's wins.
Yeah.
We like when the person drowns and we're going to be the people who will help them to drown.
Yeah.
And that's not,
it's not
that's
good.
not a healthy mentality.
I feel like it's changing now.
Oh, much
it is
better.
changing.
Yeah.
But still, yes. Here, there is obviously there is people who are
But there
jealous
is a difference.
and stuff.
There is a difference. For example, when you have close friends in Ukraine,
Yeah.
right? And I have close friends in Kazakhstan, even if you fail, even if you lose, they will be there. Like they're like sisters. We grew up like sisters, and the friendships are so tight. And in our countries, for example, my country, there's, as I told you before, coconut and peach, right? We're coconuts outside. It's hard to get in through us. But if you are literally touched my heart, I will give everything and more than everything to my friend.
That's true.
And the difference here, what I've noticed, and I said again, it's just my personal opinion. Americans are more like peach. They're super soft outside. They smile. They try to be like very supportive. But sometimes you can't call them at night because they're like, oh, I'm sleeping. Well, you are my friend, but you have to like hit me up in certain hours. So you have to set up a meeting. You can't just like storm into their kind of apartments anyway, because I never could. Maybe it's just my personal experience. But all I know is that I have a couple of friends here who I can call at night. But most of the times I know I better be good and safe because there is no one to call for help because they will never pick it up.
Yeah, it's hard to find a true friendship. Like, again, I also met a couple of people, right? And we're friends. And what I would notice is that, like, for example,
It's
girls, they would be
convenience.
like, every week she would have a new best friend.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
every
this
week.
is my best friend.
And
oh,
it's
this is my best
funny.
friend. But then,
You know what
but
they
I don't actually talk to her anymore. You
Yes,
know?
and you know what they have? That's absolutely fascinating. Like in LA, I heard there's a group of girls. So this girlfriend is for partying because we both look good, so we can go party and kind of meet guys. There's another group of friends who I could take something from.
Okay.
There's another group of girls who are kind of like worse looking than me, so I can kind of elevate my own self-confidence. Like
love
I
that.
swear to God, because that exists. If you guys tell me that it doesn't, you're lying, because look at your circle. Yes, circle overall, everybody already created. But I'll be honest with you, my first 2 years here were tough because I couldn't see the difference between true friend or not true friend. I had a birthday, my first birthday in LA, I spent alone because the girls I talked to and everybody else, they were like, yeah, we'll be there. It's your birthday. Guess what?
Nobody
came.
showed up.
Nobody showed up. And after that, I was like, I was so heartbroken because I was alone, no friends. And I was like, what is going on? And then you kind of start communicating with people from kind of similar cultures. So, I met you and like this the whole thing kind of started. And then, when we meet each other, like, oh, I have a job for you, let's do this. Or you tell me like, I have a job for you. That's how it works. And then I developed the feeling to open up for like a broader kind of friendships.
Yeah, it is hard, especially when you grow up especially when you're growing up here, right? It's easier to get friends when you go to school, when you but when you start working and you're basically alone in this world, right? It is hard to find somebody truly who's like vibing with you, who shares the same ideas,
who doesn't want to take advantage of you, because apparently, and I'm pretty sure it's only big cities or LA kind of thing, because people here are always looking for the next best thing. And also their friendships sometimes are based not on honest and genuine care or interest. Sometimes it's based on what I can get from you.
True. And which is smart if you think about it. It's kind of smart. Like, if you want to make it, you have to make right friends.
You have to fake it.
You have to fake it and make right friends. But at the same time, there is piece of this humanity that needs to be like, no matter what, you have to have a true friend who you can really talk to.
And I will tell you, like, in this few years in LA, I think I changed as a person a lot, because before I was taking everything so serious and close to my heart, because when people said something, they didn't show up, or people say something, they don't deliver, because I grew up with the mentality of if you say something, you do it. And here people are like, oh, later, next time, I'm sorry, I forgot to call you back. Or because here what I like, I like and dislike at the same time. I gotta notice. So America, it's very individualistic culture, especially LA. So people put themselves first. Sometimes in a healthy way, which I think some level of egoism is good.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not in a healthy way, because they will diminish your needs and, your feelings. That's why I always say, always care about what other people, but also do not drain your energy on some toxic people, obviously. In my culture, I think it's a bad thing, but by the way, it's a collective thinking, collective society where I am part of my family. We all obviously will have families, and everybody, for example, my brother needs something, or my uncle needs something. We all come together. No matter what we do, we drop everything. We just come together to do something together, because that's how we grew up. It's kind of a tribal thing, collective thing. And then you don't have your personal space. There's no such thing as a personal space. Yeah. If you want to have your personal space, make money, move out. But usually you live with your parents.
Yeah.
And then there's no personal space.
Or you get married and you live with his parents. Like that's
exactly.
That's
exactly. And then you kind of move out. But there is never personal space, because if your mother, if the husband's mother, father, whatever, anybody needs help. Or if they're accepting guests. And in my culture, you have to cook yourself. There is no such thing. You buy things. You have everything from scratch. Everybody, all the women of the family come into the kitchen. They talk, they cook, all this like this mess, but it's a beautiful mess happening. Children, everybody's children, like 15, running around the house, stealing food. And you yell at them, don't steal, it's for guests, and you put everything on the table. It's a different culture. And coming to America now, I appreciate the personal time and space, because I did not know it existed before.
No, true. But also, again, if you speak about this cooking and like doing everything, I kind of like it here more as well, because people are not so freaked out. Because like I remember every time I would have friends, right? My mom would be running around, cooking, doing everything. She would not sit for a second to actually speak to people. She would like, as soon as everything ready, you put it on the table, blah, blah, and then everybody ate, and now you need to clean. And then like, by the time she might have time, she's already so tired. And I already hated that. Like I always hated that, because, when we had guests, it's kind of like very happy, thing, but my mom was never happy about it. And then here, I actually like that you don't have to like, pretend.
It's
like
very laid back. Yes, I like it.
It's just like you
and it's
order
okay
food, you hang out, you speak to people, you enjoy. You enjoy actually talking to people, but not running around, making sure your place is perfectly clean, everything is perfectly like again, back at home, if you have guests, you start preparing like 3 days in advance. You're buying food, you start cooking,
cleaning rugs and carpets.
It's like insane. And then like our moms, they're like, oh, you need to clean your room when guests come, and we're like, they're not even gonna go there.
But I feel like in America, the gatherings are also depending on the location and the cultural background as well, because if you have a certain cultural background, that's how things are going to go for you. Some people will prepare some traditional food. Some people will prepare some barbecue. But what I do miss is, for example, here sometimes on the weddings or on the gatherings, American culture is, as I said before, it's about comfort, convenience, and simplicity.
Yeah.
In most of the cases, it works. I love it. But sometimes I do miss the factor of, for example, back home. We gather, as you said, yes, we prepare, but we don't have like here, like big plates, and then you just kind of pick it up on your plate yourself
like
in a
sharing,
line, like a buffet kind of thing, and then you all sit down. But I do miss the tables in Kazakhstan because there is no such thing as a buffet. Sometimes maybe on the conferences, but let's say on the weddings and like big family gatherings, there is no such thing as a buffet. No one stands with a plate because all the guests are seated.
Okay.
We bring dishes and the table is full of stuff and they just pick it up from like a big plate.
But from the table, it's still not
and everybody
personal.
sits at the same time. Nobody's walking around. So there is kind of a timeline. So everybody come, they wash their hands, they talk a little bit, and then everybody sit down at the same time. We're all at the table, 12 people, 20, and we talk.
Okay.
Everybody at the table. And then obviously women, men, whoever is serving, right? They're going to pick it up. And the first is hot plate with like national dish. Second will be tea. Third will be they talk, they smoke, they play some cards, they come back again for some second round of food, probably some kebabs, and then another round of tea. They leave. We give them some food with them because we cooked, 2 days. And then when every guest leaves, there is a saying in Kazakh, okay, now every guest left, let's just have some tea ourselves. It's
so you have another additional.
Another round, yeah. It's because
know.
you're calm, because you don't have to serve anymore. And now you can relax, sit down, have tea, clean up, talk about how everything went. And it takes a day. Very time consuming.
Exactly. It is time consuming and it takes a lot of your energy as well.
It does. But if you think about it, for everybody, life is different. And I know, and I love this about America, especially if you're here in your 20s, 30s. When you're young, you can hustle, you have your time, and you can put it anywhere you want because you are not distracted by all these family gatherings. But what is life? How are we spending it? Maybe spending life like this with your family and friends, to spend a day just eating, cooking, going around, playing cards, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we should do it more often, because I miss having dinner with lots of people every single night, because when I was growing up, it was a thing. Every morning, every night, all of our family, we gather around the table and we eat and we talk, we discuss, and then we all go to bed or leave anywhere else. Here, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a schedule. I don't have a schedule where I eat alone. I eat my breakfast alone, my lunch alone, my dinner alone. I'm not saying it's bad. I have lots of time to actually be productive on my things.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get used to it.
Okay.
But do I miss family gatherings? Of course.
No, of course, but you also don't have your family here near you, so that's probably you also miss your family.
Yeah. But sometimes even friends, you can gather friends. But here you have to make appointment like in a week, 2 months. That's true. Appointment. Tell me it's not true. It is true.
I guess, because everybody's like super busy.
Super busy
because somebody can make it, which is
it's
normal,
a hustle mentality here, and it's great because we are in this hustle mentality. But I'm not. There is no such thing as good or bad. There is things which you like personally or you don't.
No, that's true.
Those are cultural differences.
Speaking about the food, again, I was kind of thinking about it, and here what also not surprised me, but was really unusual for me, is that people always, like, whatever meeting you have, whoever you're meeting, you're always meeting for food to eat.
Because that's the only time where you don't work and you take
I don't
breaks.
know, but it's like always like, oh, let's meet up. Like, you want to meet up with a friend, but like, oh yeah, let's meet up for lunch or for dinner or for brunch but like you always go to eat.
That is
like,
true.
There's so many other things you can do with your friends, right? But people always eat here.
I love to eat. What are you talking about?
No, I love it too, but like
I remember you complained. There is culture. Okay, now the second of culture difference, not between America and our countries, cultural difference between Kazakhstan and Ukraine.
Okay,
that's
interesting.
Okay, a few days ago you came over. Yeah. And I made this pilaf.
Yeah.
And I presented you the fried bread, naan, right? And we're having tea, and then afterwards cheesecake. And you're like, Nora, every time I come in, you feed me. Why all your cuisine are all carbs?
Yeah, I was just like, why are you giving me all this carbs all the time?
She's like, do you have a salad? I'm like, we do not eat. And I literally said, we do not eat salad for the main meal. Sell it for
Carbs.
something additional. Carbs or meats. We need the meat. No, seriously, back home, I know nowadays, of course, everybody, Instagram one, of course they eat salads. They want to stay skinny, healthy, whatever. I love salads. I think it's good. I force myself to eat vegetables just like my mom did when I was growing up.
Okay.
But if I do not eat meat, at least like 3 times a week, I'm hungry.
Okay. Well, meat is good. Meat
Protein.
Is not,
That's why I still cannot learn to have a salad as a main meal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying. I know it's good for lunch, especially you don't have like this drowsiness and you don't want to sleep after salad. You still stay active.
Yeah.
But for me, if I don't have like something, then I can't. I will feel like I ate salad, but it would be more of a snack. And I know it's a bad thing, and I know I should work on it, but I'm still learning how to transfer.
No, I'm still there is things that we love. Like I'm trying to stay off the carbs, but if you put pasta in front of me,
oh my god,
so it's like I can't resist pasta. it's just something I would give up everything for pasta.
Okay. Well, coming back to cultural differences.
Yeah.
There was one biggest thing I've never seen in my life. I always saw in the movies and the music videos.
Okay.
Is laundry.
Oh yeah,
laundromats.
Laundry rooms.
Yes.
Yeah, this is
we do not have laundromats, guys. We do not know what it is. But growing up in every Hollywood movie, I saw how they go and then just like mix up the clothes. They actually have.
Yeah, it's just like so weird.
They still have huge laundromats, and I never ever knew about it. And for me, when they put everything in there in this big thing with the sneakers and things get lost, and it's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is a cool thing. It was so unusual because again, we back at home we have basically everybody has a washing machine.
Yeah,
I think it's a normal thing, right? Like here, dishwasher. We don't have dishwashers, but we all have washing machines.
No, they do in units, but on the older units, they have this one laundry room.
Yeah, no,
on the floor. And everybody go and they take turns and there's always like socks lost.
Yeah. No, I remember. So my first apartment here, also I was living in an apartment complex and we had this laundry room that was like shared. And I remember I had so much struggle to figure out how everything works there. Yes. And I remember one time like I put it there, right? And then you're not going to stand there. You go back to your apartment or something. And then I remember I coming back to pick up my clothes. And my clothes is like out laying just like on the, on a table that someone took it out. And I'm like, you can't do it. Like, this is like my underwear, like there, like, stuff. And it was so weird for me. And the other funny story I remember, because you have to pay every time, right?
Yes.
To dry and to wash coins or like we had cards and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I remember I found one video from a guy who showed the cheat code for the drying machine, not for a washing machine, only for drying. But like I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, so now I can do that. So I never paid for my drying.
For your drying? Oh no.
Because I knew the cheat code and stuff. It's also kind of our mentality is like to find cheat codes, to find a way to make things
hack
free.
That is true. That's one of the biggest, I think, cultural differences. Our culture. And it's you're from another country, I'm from another country, but we have the same mentality.
Yeah.
If we can get something for free, we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. That's true.
Always. So first I remember, okay, I confess, when I was back home, I was pirating movies.
Yeah.
Big time. I never paid for a single movie.
We never pay for movies. And
never.
It was normal. I
always pirated.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be like that. Honestly, I thought
not like pirated. It's not even like I'm a hacker or I try to pirate. We have websites where you can go and watch it for free.
Absolutely.
Here, you don't have those websites where you can go and watch a movie for free because you have to pay to streaming services, to anything, like to pay for rent a movie. In my country, there are websites openly you can go and watch.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're trying to fight it, and it's good, especially for us
in our industry.
People who work in the industry.
Don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite here. I stopped doing this when I came to America because of the respect to But when I go back home,
absolutely, we don't pay for movies. It's just something like out of your mind. It's like if you tell somebody you have to pay for a movie, they would be like, "What?"
Yeah, there are things people pay for here, which we would never pay for.
Well, yeah, like all the royalties that, like, for example, even like in my industry, right? I have to pay for music all the time, for like rights. If I want to use some sort of footage, you have to pay for it, which is now I'm getting used to it. I'm getting, more acquainted. I'm still like every time I feel a little pain in my heart when I have to pay for like a little piece of like music or footage or something. When I was like, this is how it's supposed to be. People worked for it. It's okay. It's okay to pay. But at the same time, I'm like, I can just go and download it from YouTube. It's just like
You're going to think that I'm ancient, that I'm ancient, but I do not have Spotify.
Okay. I didn't have Spotify
Or Apple
back in
Music
Ukraine.
or iTunes or any of those. I do not.
Okay, which is fine. I remember again when I first came. I was trying to. I first came to LA, and somebody invited me to go to Disneyland, and I was trying to figure out how to get to Disneyland because obviously I didn't have a car, or I was like, okay, well maybe I can use a public transport, and then I see it, and it tells me it will take me 4.5 hours to go to Disneyland. I'm like, okay, well I can call a taxi. So I go to my front desk. I remember at the apartments, and I'm like, hey, can you help me call a taxi? And they were like, oh, just call an Uber. But I didn't know what Uber was at that point of time. And I'm like, what? And they were like, well, this app Uber. And I'm like, what?
I know.
Like, it's so
Well,
weird.
it was back then. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 7 years ago, but it still happened to me. And, we learn new things. We learn all this like Spotify music.
No,
all
I
those
totally
things.
love the concept of Spotify or any music. I use YouTube, guys. It's not like I don't listen to music. I do listen to music. I use YouTube, but I it's like personal preferences. But I was told that I'm ancient or I'm like a grandma because I do not use Spotify. I use instead YouTube. It doesn't really matter. But in your case, same thing. The first day I didn't know that I could call an Uber.
Yeah.
Second of all, I didn't have an American card and my card was not international, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was getting lost in Uber so many times. And back then it was Uber Pool, so you're trying to save money. So it takes you an hour and a
'cause
half
we were
from Culver
students,
City to Burbank. So, I remember those times where I was getting lost and then I was taking public transportation from Culver City to Universal Studios. I was taking a train. Blue Line, Expo Line, hey. And then Red Line in downtown. And then I'm taking an Uber because it's cheaper from Universal Studios station to our school, which was like, I think $3.
Yeah.
There was no prices like $3. Back then you can get somewhere for $3.
remember.
Now it's like at least $9.
Yeah, I haven't used Uber in a while.
Inflation, guys, just look at the Uber prices. Inflation.
Should look. I haven't used
Tripled
Uber.
in 6 years.
That's funny. No, but again, one other thing that was hard for me, and it's still sometimes hard, is speaking to native speakers right here.
Oh,
It's hard because obviously like English is not our first language. Surprise, as you noticed. But again, all these like phrasal verbs they're using,
Oh, yeah.
it always gets so confusing. And I remember again, I had this story. It's so funny. I still feel a little ashamed of it that I didn't know, but it was funny. It was I just started dating my husband back then, right? And we went down on a date, and it was like one of the like first dates, and just like something just happened recently, and stuff. And we go to this restaurant, and we're sitting there, we're talking about something, and he tells me a joke or like something, and then he looks at me. He's like, well, relax, I'm fucking with you. And I'm like,
Are we allowed to say the word?
but I was like, what an
You were
asshole.
offended.
I was offended. I was deeply offended. And I just like, but I didn't say anything at that point of time because I was like so confused. Like, how could he even like say that? Like, that was so bad. And then much, much later on, I told him this story and he was like, oh my God, did you really think?
Yes. There was another one. My friend texted me like, hey, I was on a bicycle and then I ate shit. And I was like, why were you eating while you were riding a bicycle? He was like, no, I wasn't eating. I fell. So I didn't know.
It gets so confusing.
It's like Americans, English-speaking people. Why? This means completely different thing. Eating shit and falling. Why? How is that connected? Or the pounds. Why is it LB?
Oh yeah.
Metric system. I don't understand you. Why? We do it meters and centimeters, but not feet. What is yard? Wait. Why yards? Why miles and not kilometers? Why? Gosh, everything. Oh my God, the bra sizes. Overall, just sizes. I'm very, very confused. But most of the confusion creates, for me, it's metric system.
Yeah, no, it is very confusing. Because also, if you think about it, right, all this non-metric system, how do you call it? I'm not sure. So we have metric system and they have,
What?
whatever. We don't know how it's called because we're still learning.
Shortage of English, guys, here. Shortage of English.
Anyway, so basically, I forgot what I was going
No, it's okay. Well, I'll continue with my frustration and surprises. How pounds are lbs?
Oh, because it stands for Libra. I just figured it out. I learned it. It stands for Libra for the scales for Libra, but it still doesn't make sense.
But why pounds go for Libra?
Because it's Latin. I guess it all comes from Latin. But anyway.
Isn't it so much better? Kilogram and grams.
Well, it is, which is also, okay, I remembered what I wanted to say, right? We have like 100 grams, right? Or 1,000 grams in a kilogram.
Yeah, that's
right?
just equal.
We
Math. Pure
we
math.
have, 1,000 meters in a kilometer, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Here, what is it? The mile? But mile has how many, like...
What?
Well, it doesn't make sense because, like, for example, feet, right? Feet. Okay, let's talk about feet.
Oh, yeah.
They have like 5'11", and then it becomes 12. Why there is 11? Why it's not ending at 10? Like, I don't understand.
Me neither.
Right?
All
they got 12, and then it becomes... It's
everybody
so
who's like, oh my God, it's in Fahrenheit, it was 80, 75. And I'm just constantly calculating. So that's how many Celsius in the Fahrenheit? What's going on? Because it's constant calculation. It's constant converting, going to Google. And trust me, even after so many years, I still go to Google to convert things.
No, true.
Because I'm like, I can't. For example, with my height and with my measurements, I know now because of like my modeling job, they always ask me, what's your waist?
Absolutely.
And what's your height? And then I always get lost because if you think about it, 5'8" and 5'9", it's such a tiny difference that sometimes I'm lost to say 5'8", 5'9". Oh, shoes, guys. Okay, that's the thing. So we have 37, 38, 39 European size, right?
Yeah.
Here, 8, but you also have 8.5.
Which is nice. I actually like
nice.
that,
I love that because I realized that I'm 8 or 8.5 depending on the shoe. Because back home it was either big or too small.
Yeah. Because here you can kind of find this middle kind of perfect thing.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that part. But again, I had to learn. I had to learn what is a half means.
Yeah, but it also doesn't match like if you're 39, it doesn't mean you're in size 9. It's I think 39 is size 8 actually, or 8.5. It's just like it's again, it gets very confusing.
It gets very confusing.
Also, what is confusing actually for Americans, not for us, like I still have my phone on a 24-hour clock, like a military time. So like for example, right now would be what? Right now is 16:10, right?
Yeah.
16. Right? You understand 16, it's 4 p.m.,
yeah,
right?
it's 4 p.m.
But Americans, they don't.
Oh, AM, PM thing, guys. AM, PM thing. Like you guys have, I mean, why am I saying you guys? We live here. Okay, we have.
Well, we're not Americans yet. We will become one day, maybe. But yeah.
Okay, let's say here we have
AM,
PM, which in our system of the clock,
we'll have
is
24
hours. So you understand, which is 16 to
16, 18,
20. Yeah, but we literally say 20:00, meaning like 20.
20,
Yeah, it's interesting.
And I understand it. And I still have my phone like that because honestly, AM, PM all gets confusing. I confused it a couple times. I remember I confused it actually for a date. That was back when I was at school, right? And I agreed with the guy that we're going to meet at 10, right? And I was like, yeah, perfect. And I show up at 10 p.m. And he was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, we agreed at 10. He's like, 10 a.m. And I'm like, you serious? So I showed up the day before to the date.
Oh, wow.
And it was 10 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. And he was so confused. Thank God he was home at that point of time. But it was like, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so stupid.
Oh my God. Well, things like that happen. I've had so many situations, so many misspelling of the English, even the word beach. I misspelled it so many times.
I know.
The word that I'm down to get down. That I had to learn because what is it? I'm down to get down. Everybody in my school would say, I'm down to get down. Or another word, I got you.
I got you.
What does it mean? I got you. Meaning like, okay, I'm gonna take care of you, but they don't. They just say things like, oh, I got you, but you don't really.
No, I know. Yeah. Speaking about misspelling, I remember the situation. It was on one of my movies, and I had assistant director, right, who was supposed to send all the information beforehand to the shoot, right, to all the filming crew, and it was a pretty big crew. And okay, so this is evening, and we all receive a call sheet.
Call that word, yes. That word.
Yeah, and it was like, I was like, no, oh my god, it's so bad, and then like everybody received it, so you can't unsend it because it's an email.
Speaking of words, I'm not sure if it's PG-13 enough, but it is a fact. I had a friend from Kazakhstan, and we have particular names,
Yeah.
And I remember we were in the crowd, and she was introducing. And when I realized what she's saying, I mean, her name, I was like, holy moly.
Okay.
So she was like, hi, my name is Kamshat.
Oh.
That's a real Kazakh. I swear to God. And then I was like, you must hate your name. She's like, yeah, I hate my name here. I mean, it's a beautiful name in my country. But she does hate her name here.
Awkward.
Oh, there is another name. Inkar.
In car?
It's a name. Inkar.
Well, it sounds pretty.
Oh, better than the first one, right?
Yeah, better than the first one, definitely. But it can get confusing.
So, cultural differences, guys. It can be beautiful. It can be not always that good.
It's funny, yeah. And I don't know. I guess the last cultural difference we can talk about, which is very important, though, the beauty industry.
Oh, there is another one. Calories, fast food culture.
True. We can. Yeah, I mean, here I like that they always put calories on everything,
yes.
which is make you aware of things.
By the way, in our country, they don't put calories.
Yeah, like nobody cares about calories. Like, what are you talking about?
Let's just all get fat.
Yeah, but here, like every single place except Erewhon has calories.
That is true.
Which is nice, but also I guess it's because there's a big obesity here problem.
Oh yeah, there is a problem. That's true.
That's why they're putting calories, because they're trying to make people be more fit. Because all the fast food and all the like,
it's, you know what's funny? Like fast food here is so affordable. It's so cheaper. Like I remember I went to Griffith Park. I think it was zoo, and the bottle of soda was cheaper than the bottle of water.
Yeah.
Like twice cheaper.
Yeah.
So what people would buy. So for me, what I realized, soda here is cheaper than water.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And second thing is, for example, when I'm back home, where we usually eat our street food, or like we have canteens, kind of like cafes. It's similar to when you go to, let's say, Whole Foods or Erewhon or whatsoever. There's like a pre-made food, and you pick it up what you want, right? Kind of a buffet thing, and then you pay at the end. That kind of style is more popular than fast food in my country, because fast food.
Interesting.
We have, like, let's say, all the big brands, but they opened up quite recently. I wouldn't say it was like 20 years, or maybe 10 years Burger King, maybe like McDonald's like 5 years ago, Starbucks maybe also 5 years ago. So we did not really have those big chains, because our street food is very particular.
Interesting.
It's all this like doner, shawarmas, kebabs, and then at the same time we have like soups, teas, all that stuff. And it was always cheaper to eat in the canteen than to get, let's say, KFC.
Okay.
Because the same amount of money you spend in KFC, you can actually get a nice meal cheaper.
Okay. No, because it's interesting, because in Kiev, for example, all these fast foods, right? Again, we don't have that many. We have Burger King, we have KFC, and we have McDonald's.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
much
same
it.
Three.
But it's considered very tasty. That's one.
Good. Kids love it.
No, not even kids. It's very popular. It's almost like a restaurant. It's not. It's
you
not
go
a fast
out,
food. Yeah,
and you eat that. When you go to the movies, to the mall.
Yeah, you buy, and it's a like something important. I don't want to say
Event
important.
in a way, yeah.
It's kind of event. Yeah, like, oh, let's go to McDonald's. And you're like, oh, that's
Let's sit
cool.
down
Let's
and
go
have
to
that.
McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not just something like you run, you grab. And
Because every day we eat home food.
Yeah.
The cooking culture in our countries is so big that we
'cause
don't really go out and we don't really eat out that much.
yeah, we don't go to meet with friends at the restaurants. That's like,
I mean, we do.
but like for
But it's not an
occasion
everyday
more.
thing.
It's not everyday thing.
No.
You would never like you want to just meet with a friend.
We're constantly grocery shopping.
I guess, yeah. But no, just like when you meet with friends, right? What do you usually like? We usually go maybe for coffee. Okay,
Smoke hookah.
coffee. Hookah is pretty popular, yeah, I guess. You go to like walk in a park.
I mean, you go to dinner
know.
or walk in a park, yeah, but we don't really have to go every time. We don't go every time. For example, me and you, when we meet, majority of the times when we meet, it's I'm cooking and I'm calling you, I'm cooking. Come
Yeah, or
over.
something. Yeah, which is normal for us, but for everybody else, every time like I want to see friend, but like what else do we do if we don't go eat? Like, you know.
Yeah.
And then every time I'm struggling because like you eat, okay, it's like probably like how much time does it take? It takes you like an hour to eat, right?
Yeah.
But then like I want to spend more time with this person, right? But what do you do? Because like first everything is so far.
Yeah, everything is super
Right? So
fun.
it's not like you ate and then you go for a walk. No, because there's nowhere to go to for. So you have to figure out something else. And well, one thing's for me, which I always do when like this is like my exit plan is movies. Like I invite people to go to movies with me and kind of like not to eat, but like, you know, to watch movies. Or again, I love shopping personally. I've really loved like back in Ukraine again with my best friends, right? We would always go like, and we have a shopping day.
No, I
You
mean,
know,
here
and we don't even have to buy anything. We just go like look at stuff, like try things. I don't know, something that's like one of the things we would do.
No, I'm pretty sure they do too. And what I like here, I think people here like to go to work out together. Or they're like,
Okay.
oh, let's like work out on the beach, or let's ride a bike on the beach. I like that LA has very, very
Yeah, that's
healthy
actually true.
habits, very healthy habits. And I never had a friend who, like, for example, would be vegan, pescatarian, or vegetarian right back home because it's kind of. It's a meat-based culture. If you don't eat meat back home, they will be like, "Are you okay? Did you go mad in your America?" No. But yes, here I have friends who are vegans, you know, pescatarians, and then it's so hard to take them out
It is hard
because you have to find a place where they have gluten-free bread, lactose-free almond milk, oat milk, whatever drinks. What else they have to have? No meats, probably fish. If the vegan,
Dairy-free.
Dairy-free. If they're vegan, it's mostly French fries.
which is crazy. Like if you think about it, like vegan, you think about healthy, right?
Oh, depending why you're becoming vegan. If you know,
But then
if-
you
yeah,
end up
there's
just
a
eating
reason.
French fries all the time, which is not good.
Yeah, or vegan burgers because they taste like meat. So I always ask, as I said, I think I mentioned this previously.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whenever you make a choice in life, if you can justify it, I'm for it. I'll be with you. If you cannot justify it and you're doing it just because of the trend, I'm sorry, I cannot be part of things like that.
Sure.
Anyway, about the cultural differences, we can talk a lot, but I do love the fast food culture here because I love Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A.
We want
I have
Chick-fil-A to sponsor us.
Chick-fil-A, I love you. I will eat Chick-fil-A every single day right here on this couch. And I'll be like, mwah, 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 with my fingers. Literally. Okay, I'm not being disgusting. I'm just being Nora. Nora. Anyway.
Carbs.
So, yes, carbs. I love carbs. I love
Look at her.
carbs.
She loves carbs and she looks like that.
Yo,
A witch.
I'm just Kazakh.
I'm
just
trying to be like low carb. I'm trying.
You know,
like,
we eat meat, we eat carbs, and then we get on a horse and we ride horses. That's. I think that's our workout. But another and one of the last cultural difference we're gonna touch is beauty industry.
yeah, I wanted to speak about that because I am struggling. I'm struggling so much because guys, I learned how to do my own nails here. Because I don't want to pay $100 for my nails. I just don't. I don't have that money, but I want to have my nails done because, like, I want to look nice, right? But I just, like, okay, you need to do your nails, like, basically every 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Every 3 weeks, $100. I don't have that money. Like,
What
I'm
about the
sorry.
eyebrows? What about the lashes, the makeup, the
People-
massages?
I paint my
coloring
own
your
eyebrows
hair,
too.
cutting your hair, waxing. I don't know what else girls do, but it's hundreds and thousands of dollars. So you
so
guys,
expensive.
guys, if you think it's expensive to take the girl out on a dinner or a coffee, just remember she spends more than $1,000 a month to maintain her beauty, because lots of guys are like, oh, she doesn't even have a manicure, or she smells bad, or something else. Guess what? Everything costs.
Yeah, and everybody's like, like my husband likes to say, it's like, oh, I like just the way you are. You don't have to do anything. I'm like, this is,
Just stop it. Just
yeah,
because shut up right now.
It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of
Time.
resources, time, money to keep looking natural.
Otherwise, okay, guys, in a month, next episode, you'll see hairy, dirty, absolutely horribly ugly girls here sitting. But nobody wants to see that.
God. Of course not.
Nobody. But anyway, yes, about the beauty industry, I think there are biggest differences. So I love America for innovation and technology. You guys set the trend, and everything here, every trend, every technology starts here, especially in California, North California. And I love it. Every app, every let's say the robots, even for the beauty stuff, and their facials are amazing. But there is few things which I always will go to the people from our countries. It's manicure, pedicure,
Absolutely.
waxing, and my hair, and like lashes and eyebrows. Anything which come. Pretty much everything which comes to our bodies, everything we go.
No, absolutely. Like I'm waiting. I'm gonna go to Ukraine in a couple months, and I already have bookings for all the like
all
brows,
the cosmetologists,
lashes, hair, everything. Cause
Stomatologists, dental,
dentists. Yeah,
it's so much cheaper there.
Absolutely, it's so cheap and so good.
I mean, quality. Same level. No, again, quality here is also good.
No, okay, quality is good. Like, okay, if you want a high quality, you pay a lot of money, right? It's probably like 8 times. More expensive.
I think back home I spend like $200 and I do everything in my mouth, like literally like everything. I'm not gonna say what I do, but everything. Also, when it comes to manicure, I realized, because my friends, they recently opened up a salon, and they told me the regulations for manicure here are so much different from your regulations back home. So when it comes to, for example, cuticles, they don't cut cuticles here.
Yeah, which is so weird, because like then it looks ugly. And you spend $100 and it looks ugly.
Well, also there is a difference. Like back home, we mostly work for appointments. Here, there are salons which you can come in and do your nails. You just wait a little bit.
Yeah.
But they do it on it's like a train. They don't really put much effort into design or it. They just want to make it, and just next. Of
course, because they're trying to make money. This is how
obviously,
so
yes. And in our
fast.
salons, you can sit for 2 hours, discuss the design of your nails.
Yeah, like your nail person is also
is
your therapist.
Yeah, she knows everything, just like your hairdresser, but mostly nails.
Yeah,
manicurist, she knows everything. So there is a new term, and I know Kendall Jenner also uses Russian manicure.
Oh, and I saw she did lips with the Ukrainian girl.
Yeah, because I feel like now everybody in LA came to understanding that beauty industry, you can pick up great things from other countries. And when it comes to manicure, I know celebrities in LA, they already know what is Russian manicure is. It's term Russian manicure. It doesn't mean it's originated. No, it's just, we can be as well as Kazakh manicure or Ukrainian manicure.
Yeah.
But the standard of quality is the same. It's just perfect. When you try at least one time, that type of manicure, pedicure, facial, hair, whatever, you'll never go back to whatever you did before. And I'm telling you why.
Absolutely.
Because first 2 years I couldn't find people who would do it, so I was going to regular salons, which are also good. I'm not trashing regular salons. They're great. Their service is amazing.
Yeah.
But I just got used to different type of service and quality. And I was looking for it. And every time I was going to that salons, okay, you do it with some color, okay, cool. But I was never like enjoying, that. Like I was never like looking back, oh, I just did my nails. Oh, look.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
Because it's also like a service. It's like, it makes you feel special.
It's a feminine thing.
Yeah.
It's a feminine thing. And then, throughout the years, new people came, and I found people, they opened up salons. And now all things I do, I just do from this certain people because of the quality. And nowadays there is a competition because so many people who do, like from our countries came and they do, they create salons, so they do the services, and there is a competition, and it's great because in the beginning I couldn't find people who would do the same job and the same quality, which I missed. But anyway, I believe that being here
Yeah.
and embracing all the cultural differences, even though I still don't understand why pound is LB. I will never understand. But there are so many great things which I love, and there is a reason why we stayed. There is a reason why we fell in
Yeah.
love with LA in
'Cause
California.
it's so interesting. It's so multicultural. Like again, all these cultures, like this thing is better from this people, this thing is better from this people, and it creates this special, amazing place called Los Angeles.
Exactly,
Right?
melting pot, and I love it
Yeah.
because every day, you know that something different, something good, sometimes bad, but mostly good, is going to happen to you, and you're like every day it's like Christmas or some magical day because you can go to absolutely new place, and in LA, every single day you can find a place which will absolutely be amazing for you because you haven't been there. Find a place in the world where you, like the city in the world where you can just go and you know it's going to be new. Every day something's going to be new.
That's true. That's why I like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Just Fake It coming to LA. And we are sponsored by Invoice Media.
Voice your passion.